hello. Please come in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. How are you? Excellent, excellent. Alrighty. Well, I am Dr. Rosen, and I'm glad you decided to meet with me today. See if I can help you in some way. So please, relax, make yourself comfortable. Um, did the reception offer you water, coffee, tea? Okay, you have a water there? Okay, good. Okay. Have you ever been to any therapy type sessions before? No? Okay. Oh, this? Oh, yes, this is my niece's. It's a little corgi. Just because she was in here one day and she saw me typing with my laptop on my actual lap, and she goes, Aunt Lori, you shouldn't be doing that. Here, use this. You can have this. I have 5 at home. I don't know why she has 5 little laptop thingies. I don't even know what this is called, but yes, this is hers. She gave it to me, and I love it. That way she's here with me all day, and it's very comfortable to type on with my laptop. So yes, that is the reason for my neon colored laptop table. All right. Okay. So, you've never had any type of therapy or counseling sessions before? Okay. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have not. I have the pleasure of being in that part of the medical field that people kind of poke fun at. Usually people come to me because they're forced into it, not because they actually want to. They find therapy and counseling to be uncomfortable. It's difficult to share your feelings and open up, right? They may also, a lot of people, they come to me and they're under that misconception that I'm going to poke and pry and try to find everything out about their personal life that I possibly can because I'm neppy. That's not the case. I just need to know everything to see what's going on, to see how I can help you. And they also think that I might judge them and scold them for their actions. Also, not the case. Okay. I try to approach things empathetically, listen to you, see how I can help, offer some suggestions. I'm not judging. I may offer some professional kind of input. Okay. All right. So I just wanted you to know, think of me as a diary that talks back. Some people are very private and they have a very difficult time sharing their feelings, if that's even what you call this. Depending on why you came to me today, it may have nothing to do with feelings or emotions. It may just be an issue that you're having and you don't know how to deal with it. So you tell me whatever you're comfortable sharing. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there before we get started. Feel free. This is a judgment-free zone. I have a very emotional face, so I try not to make faces because you might think I'm reacting to what you're saying, and that's not the case. It's just me. I have very animated facial expressions, so if I happen to make a weird face, it's not anything that you said, trust me. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I wanted to open the floor up to you. right? I am here to listen. I'm going to ask questions to see what the issue is and how I can help. But you don't have to share what you're not ready to share, and I will not judge or scold you. Okay? All right, so the floor is yours. You tell me, what brought you here to see me today? Or I should say, because your primary doctor referred you to me, what has been happening in your life which caused the need for you to come and see me? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so a lot of stress and anxiety, trouble sleeping due to those intrusive thoughts. Okay, so people come to see me because of stress, because of anxiety, because of depression. These are things that we all deal with, but we have to look at, is this an issue or is it something temporary? Caused by an outside thing that can be fixed and alleviated. I am human. I have stress and anxiety, get depressed at moments, get worried about things, can't sleep because of it. It's an awful feeling. Okay, but sometimes that's just life, but sometimes it's actually the chemical wiring of our brain. Okay, so with this stress and anxiety and these thoughts that are, intrusively entering your head and you can't sleep, are these new feelings? Maybe the result of something in life, or is this just how you've kind of always been and you just cannot take it anymore? Okay. Uh-huh. So mainly work related. Okay. Oh, well, no. I cannot just prescribe medication right at the get-go because we need to see what the issue is, if there is an actual mental health condition that you're dealing with, or is this just a side effect or reaction to the stressors in your life? Okay, so you pinpointed work. Everyone's kind of first reaction is, give me some medication, make these feelings go away. But if there is no actual mental medical issue, that's just like a miswiring of the chemicals in your brain, medication will not help. Okay, and even if we do, we talk, maybe we run some tests, we see that maybe there is some sort of mental health condition there, medication, it's a long road to find the one that fits. There's a lot of different brands, a lot of different mixtures. Is it actually effective? What are the side effects? So we only go to medication if there's a need. Okay, but if it's just a stressor, like an everyday stressor that happens, such as work that you mentioned, we really want to focus on how to handle that, how to fix that, how to make the stressor go away, because medication is not going to help that. Okay. Now, we all handle or we all have stress and anxiety. Usually it's caused by some sort of stressor. Jobs, huge one. Family issues, finances, health concerns, relationship issues. Medication will not help this go away. If you have an issue with your marriage, that's something that needs talked out. You need to remove that stressor. You remove the stressor, you fix that issue, the stress and the anxiety goes away with it. Okay? So when we identify the stressor, which I think in your case you said it's work, we want to see if it's something that we can resolve, and if not, how can we effectively have you handle that stress so that it's inevitably going to how can we effectively handle the stress that's going to inevitably come with those life issues? Right, so you mentioned your job is a big stressor. Is there a certain area of your job or an aspect of your job specifically that's causing you stress? Okay. Yeah, I just like to take notes. Okay. All right, so work. I am not here to tell you to tell your boss off or to go find another job. Have you tried communicating these issues with your boss? Yeah. Okay. That's, a lot of times, you're not allergic to cats, right? Yeah. He's all up in the business here. So, if it's, let me see how I can put this. A lot of times when it's work related, it's too much work or too many changes or unfair workloads, or they keep piling more and more on because they don't really see you as a human. They just see you as an entity of the job, of their business that's making them more money. So here, pile on more, make the customers happy, get more product out, make us more money, and they lose sight of the fact that you are human. You can only handle so much, so you have to be willing to step up in a way to let them know there might be an issue. Now, a lot of people don't want to do this. They just go and find another job. And I'm like, that is silly, because that job, I guarantee, is going to have very similar issues. Okay? So, you want to try to bring it up to your boss to at least see if they're willing to kind of work with you to alleviate some of the stress. Because in today's society and in the work environments, they're really trying to create a, worker-friendly culture. Maybe they don't, listen to you exactly what you need, but they might be willing to work with you a little bit. Okay? But if that's not the case, and in the end, your company just does not want to hear it, and they say, this is what the business needs, this is what we're going to do, you either do it or you take a walk and don't come back, because a lot of companies are like that. Then you just have to kind of make that choice. Okay. Is this job for you? Also realizing it that if you go to a different job, that's also going to be stressful in some sort of way. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that? You have, and okay. Oh, so they were willing to work with you slightly, but it was only a temporary fix and it came back around again. Okay, sometimes they play that game. Sometimes they work with you. Things are good for a while. and then boom, here it comes again. Same old stuff happening, so you're just gonna gotta keep bringing it up. So in the end, you have to communicate. If it's some sort of stressor, whether it's a work-related stressor or relationship issues, you really need to communicate it to see if you can just make that stress go away. Because if you eliminate the issue, the stress goes away with it. Okay, but if it's something that cannot be changed and you want to stay at that job, then you have to learn how to manage that stress at work so it doesn't explode. Okay, so we don't just burn out and make ourselves sick. Okay, so little things that might seem common knowledge, like stepping away and going for a walk. As silly as it sounds, maybe going into a quiet place and breathing deeply. Calm your nerves, settle your blood pressure down and your heart rate, kind of tell yourself it's not worth all this stress. Okay, a lot of people scoff at that idea, but it really does help. They might think, I'm too manly to do that. That's hippie nonsense. I don't want to do this. By all means, don't. And just live with the stress, but try it out. Okay? Try it out and actually give it your all. And don't just say, oh, I tried it. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I know this isn't going to work. I'm going to say that I try it, but I'm going to make sure that it doesn't actually work because I don't want it to, because I don't believe that that's an effective solution. But it's just one thing that you can try to help manage that stress while you're at work so it doesn't overwhelm you. Okay? Now, after work, that's what I really want to dive into. Okay, because unfortunately we all have to work. We all need money to, effectively live and feed and house ourselves and our families. But we don't want work to be our entire lives. Because if we think about it, we spend, and as sad as it sounds, we spend a huge part of our lives at work or working. And that's unfortunate. So you really have to kind of change your way of thinking and realize I've already given my work, who doesn't really care about me when it comes down to it. I have given them so much of my life. I don't want to give them my entire life. So try to create that separation. Okay? When you leave, work for the day, leave. Right? So tell me, you had a really stressful day at work. What do you do at the end of the day? Drink? Okay. Anything else? Just drink. Watch TV, a movie, video games. Okay. But drinking is the key here. That's how you manage the stress. Okay. All right. Nothing else. Okay. So this is where it gets a little heated in my office, because now that I know that the cause of stress, is work related, and it can't really be lessened by talking it over with your boss, I have to step in and see how that stress can be handled after work. I can suggest ways of dealing with that stress, but the thing is, my suggestions are not always received well. Okay? Now, immediately you said you drink. I get that response all the time. That's just our default, right? We had a great day, let's celebrate with a drink. I had a horrible day, let me drown it with a couple drinks. Okay, so I'm not going to say that having a couple drinks is a bad thing. A lot of people just do this every single day as part of their routine for winding down for the day. Nothing wrong with that. What you don't want to do though is sit there all night after work, quote, drowning your sorrows, doing nothing but sitting there and stewing over these negative thoughts. Okay, because that mixed with the alcohol is just going to leave your mind and your body in that constant state of stress, which is going to weaken your body and cause these other health issues. Okay, so I'm not saying you have to give up drinking. I'm not sitting here and saying that's bad. Okay, not saying that at all. We have to look at how we can get those thoughts, those negative feelings that, the stress is causing. It's causing the stress, it's causing the anxiety. How do we get that to go away? Because that's what's causing your body the harm. Okay? So, a good thing to do is try to separate work from home. You have your work brain and you have your at-home or after-work brain. So as soon as you leave the building, or if you work from home and as soon as you turn off that computer, think of that as turning off your work brain and your work thoughts and your work stress and turning on your at-home brain, where you can focus on your own life and relaxing and enjoying time with your family or your friends, cooking a good meal, maybe going for a walk, playing with your pets. Okay. The key here being, leave that work junk at work. I know it's easier said than done. Okay. But is that something that you've tried? So what I mean is, you're stressed out at work. You do what you can to try to manage that stress at work so you don't explode, but it's tough. But if work is the stress, once work is over, that stress should go away. Try to leave that there. Because if you're just constantly stressed 24/7, you're going to make yourself sick. So trying to realize that tomorrow, when you start work again, that stress is going to come back. Okay? Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. But after work, that's you. That's your time. That's your life. You are not on the clock anymore. Work does not exist. It doesn't exist. The money that you made exists, so now you can go and you can have a drink with your friends. You can go and you can have a good meal. You can go to the movies. You can go and buy yourself a new pair of shoes. You can enjoy, the benefits of that work. But the work itself, that job, does not exist. It does not exist. It is not on your mind. It is not in your thoughts. This is your time. Soon as you turn off that work computer, soon as you walk out of that building, okay, maybe it's not instant, but try to, wind down, switch off that work brain, and turn on that at-home brain. You're a different person. You are you. When you're at work, you're a robot. You belong to them, okay? But when you're at home, you are you. That is your time. Okay? So really try to focus on that and try that thinking. Now, Again, not saying you cannot have a few drinks. The key here is to mentally free your mind. And alcohol alone doesn't do that if you're just sitting there, like, man, can you believe my boss? Can you believe this happened? Glug, 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 glug. Okay? That's not helping. Now, you can do healthy things as well, like exercise, whether it be walking, yoga, weightlifting, cardio. That's good at relieving that stress, but those negative thoughts about work might still be there, especially if you had an extraordinarily bad day. Okay, maybe you said something that you regret and you keep playing that horrific conversation or that horrific incident over and over again. I'm guilty. I am guilty of doing that. That horrible, you wake up at 3 a.m, I can't believe I said that. Or I could have handled that differently, but it's done with. Why are you still thinking about it? Okay, so us as humans, we have that unfortunate wiring in our brain where if something bad happens, we're going to dwell on it for a while. Okay? If somebody, in a personal relationship does something to hurt you, it's going to take a while to get over that. They may have apologized. You may have talked it over many, many times. But that hurt that they caused is still there. Okay? So it does take some time to heal. Okay? So if you had a bad day at work, an extraordinarily bad day, that stress might be with you for a couple days, and there's, it's just going to take time to get over that bad thing that happened. Okay, but if it's just everyday workday stress that's going to happen every day, like, man, I was so busy today. Can you believe these changes they're making? Realize that that is a constant. There's no getting away from that. So that just becomes part of that part of your life. And you try to separate it and not think about it anymore, okay, when you get home. Okay, so really try that. And having other hobbies that cause you to think, maybe writing or practicing music or writing music, that causes your brain to think of other things. So that's a way to get your mind off of work altogether. Okay, so I want you to try that. Do you think you'll come back for another session with me? Okay. Sorry, the cat just is very friendly and loves rubbing up against you. Okay, so what I want you to do is really try that. So try talking it over with your boss to see if there's anything that they can do to kind of alleviate or lessen the stress at work. When you have those stressful moments at work, do those little, breathing exercises. Walk away, separate yourself from the situation, clear your head as best as you can, and then come back. At the end of the day, put that all behind you. Save it for tomorrow. You can worry about it tomorrow. I clocked out, this is your time. Okay? If it's an extraordinarily bad day where something happened, that's going to take some time to maybe get over, because our brains will dwell on those bad things, those negative thoughts. But, if it's just an everyday stressor, I want you to, you can still have your drinks, but I also want you to incorporate something else. Maybe incorporate the practice of switching off that work brain. Okay? It takes a lot of practice, okay, but try it. And I want to see you back here in, let's say, 3 weeks. Okay, so try that practice. Switching off that work brain, turning on that your free time, it's your time brain, seeing how that works out for you. And then maybe even incorporating a little hobby. On the really bad days to get your mind off of something extraordinarily bad that happened. Okay? All right. Any questions or anything else that you wanted to add today? Okay. So I did a lot of talking this session. Okay. I think we identified what your cause of your stress and anxiety is. So that was relatively easy to find what the cause is, and I just offered a bunch of practices, some things to try out. Okay, next time when you come back to see me in 3 weeks, be prepared to share. You're gonna do most of the talking, to tell me how things went. Okay? Alrighty. Well, it was so nice meeting you. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you're going into the night with a good attitude. Call me if you have any concerns. Okay, and if I'm with another patient, I will call you as soon as I'm done. Alrighty. All right, thank you. Take care.